Hey you guys, what's up? It is Mossy from PGA. Today I just wanted to take a quick look at the teams that are qualified for Worlds 2021. We recently had basically all of the regional leagues, all the finals for those take place. And so now we know all the teams that are going to be either seeded into Worlds already or participating in the play-in. As you guys can see here, we have 24 teams participating in Worlds, and unfortunately, due to those travel restrictions, as I think we've discussed earlier on the channel, teams from the VCS Vietnam will not be able to attend this year's Worlds. Very unfortunate. You know, we're still dealing with the effects of COVID, stuff like that. But it is really interesting to take a look at the teams that got in. Obviously, the play-ins start October 5th, so we are about a month out, give or take, a little bit less time. But just about everyone I know is super excited for Worlds to start. Obviously, you know, due to the patch, action will be disabled. I always like to look at this stuff. It just gives us information for the tournament. But let's go ahead and take a look at the teams in the groups. I will give very quick thoughts. As we can see here, Edward Gaming made it, you know, to Worlds again. FPX Phoenix. If you guys remember, these guys have won World before. Very good team. I don't actually know all that much about Edward Gaming. I know Viper has, I've seen a little bit of his stuff, and I believe he's like the name I know the most on that team. But again, LPL is one of the leagues I watch probably the least. You know, I love watching FPX. I love watching Doonby. Doonby's on a tear right now. I think he's going to be very scary and exciting to watch in Worlds. Moving onwards, we have RNG. RNG, I think, is, you know, still a very strong team. Historically, they've made it to a lot of Worlds. They've made it further into the tournament than, you know, I think on average, like, they tend to get like 3rd or 4th, if I recall correctly. Pretty decent team. I expect these guys to make it out of groups for sure. I'm not so sure about Edward Gaming, but it will actually end up depending on, you know, just how they do in groups. And obviously, I was not able to see how they did in terms of, it looks like maybe they won the LPL Summer. This is stuff to look at, and yeah, they did win the summer split. They won the playoffs and 3-1 against FPX, which is just super shocking. I mean, look at this lower bracket run. You know, 3-1 LNG, 3-0 WE. So it looks like this is a team that clearly can learn, because, you know, they played Team WE right here and then dropped down, but they learned a lot. So I think teams that can learn a lot, you know, from their losses obviously tend to do well in Worlds. Lower bracket runs, you know, less of a thing, but definitely throughout the group stage, you have plenty of opportunities to learn from your opponents. So that is it for the LPL. Moving on to the LCK, Dom1 Gaming won the LCK Summer. Right behind them, Gen G with their championship points. I think everyone knows Dom1, T1, Gen G. These are not teams that people tend to pass up very much. They're very well known. I think Dom1 Gaming have a very good shot, along with FPX, to actually take the entire tournament this year. I think they'd probably be my personal favorites. But obviously we have T1 coming back. You know, you've got Canna in the top lane, you've got Faker. They have, if I recall correctly, I know there's a lot of depth on this roster. They were playing around with their lineups a little bit throughout the LCK split. I think more so in the spring split. I remember Faker being taken out a little bit, but you know, they finished very strong in the LCK, if I recall correctly. Yeah, they kind of ran the gauntlet just a little bit here, or I guess they were just slotted into the finals. I recall them having more, maybe not. Regardless, though, you know, they take the 3-2 against Hama Life, and they slotted themselves through the Worlds. You know, the Kennen, the Zinzao, the Azir. I mean, look at these drafts. Like, they know what they want to play. They have their comfort. So, teams with established drafts and things that they can rely on, always very strong. Moving on to the LEC, which is I watched a lot more of. Mad Lions, you know, balling out in the summer split. Definitely a team just full of young players, team to watch out for. They beat Fnatic in the finals. I did watch that one. Rogue were actually doing like really well, I thought, for the majority of the split, and I actually expected Rogue to go all the way through to the finals, but you know, they took 2 3-0s right in a row, and I think it shocked a lot of the player base. But I mean, if you want to talk about like a team with you know, with shocking expectations, I mean, look at Fnatic here, with almost completed the entire lower bracket run, made it all the way to the grand finals. I mean, I guess it is kind of a complete lower bracket run, other than just winning the whole playoffs. But Fnatic, clearly a team with a lot of depth, and I think the most important thing to take from their summer split is the fact that in playoffs, they had so many of these long series, 3-2, 3-2, 3-2, and then 3-0, and then 3-1. So like they're very much used to playing these longer series. I wonder how they'll do in the group stage when they're not playing best of fives or not playing best of threes or whatever it will be. Moving onwards though, obviously we've talked a lot about LCS on this channel. 100 Thieves and Team Liquid, the representatives for NA. I'll be honest, like 100 Thieves, Team Liquid, any NA team really kind of like a dark horse. They can pull off decent runs. We watched Team Liquid last year, I think it was in the in Worlds 2020 or whatever it was. Let me go back and see. I believe their group stage run was more or less pretty disappointing, but they kind of evened out near the end. I was looking at it earlier today, and I think they took games off of Suning or something like that. They put up a pretty decent fight, if I recall correctly. For more information, let me see. Yeah, Team Liquid with the 3-3, and honestly, it was just unfortunate it wasn't enough to keep them in at the very end and to get them through out of group stage. But call me an optimist. I think NA has a very good chance of making it out of Worlds with both 100 Thieves as well as Team Liquid. Honestly, I think one of these two teams will make it out. Not much more to say about those teams. We've already talked about them a lot on the channel. And then obviously there's PSG Talon, the representative for PCS. They were in Worlds 2020 as well. And let me check. I don't remember if they made it out of the groups or not. I don't believe they did. 9th to 12th, yeah. So they also 2-4, unfortunately, did not make it out of group stage. But I remember they had some exciting games, so I would definitely not count this team out. We will get into the play-in teams in a separate video in a later date. But overall, these are group stage teams. I just wanted to go through them all and talk about them a tiny bit. So that's all we got. We will see you guys in the next video.